All right, everybody. Hello, everyone, to another Camera Culture, a series from Well FM that puts the diverse creators of the NFT photography movement into focus. I am your host, Dick Cryptolorian, and we have a very, very special guest today. Hendro is with us today. We're very, very excited. Hendro is an international award-winning photographer and visual storyteller. His fine art images are part of his imagination, where he colored, or the colors of the sky and the water are not always blue, where birds and other animals speak to him when he speaks to them. I love that. I love that quote. Hendro, welcome to the show. Very, very excited to have you on here.
Hi, everyone. Hi JC. Thank you for having me.
Oh man, we're getting a lot of comments from the audience. I'm just gonna put them up as we go. But you have a lot of friends watching that have been with us for a while. But Hendro, for those of us who haven't heard of you, give us a little bit of intro about yourself.
Yeah. So my journey in photography is actually pretty late. So when I was young, I didn't even think that one day I would love photography. But one thing for sure, when I was a kid, I liked to draw, and then it turned into some like a hobby, like exploring like Adobe Illustrator, even like Autodesk Maya. I learned those kind of thing, but not very serious. Just play around, and then once the digital, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, I remember my dad at the time gave me an SLR, which I never used it at all, because for me, what was that? So I moved to Australia then, and I live in a place where within a walking distance there are a lot of photography gallery. So from frequent passing by, I visiting them, and then that's where my interest started. And I said, let's try it. So that's how I started learning photography. I think that's when I was 20 plus something. And then so with trial and error, I learned myself, and then my friend suggested me to join competitions, and that's how I start learning everything seriously.
Wow. So you started off, drawing and you were exploring art when you were a kid, and then you just jumped into photography, and from there, I mean, you've really you're an international award-winning photographer. You're a master of photography in different awards and whatnot. So you really jumped off.
It's a passion. When you love something, then that's just automatically grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And when would you say you really started to love photography?
I think that's around my 20 something plus. So there was a landscape photographer that's very well known, Peter Leak. He has a gallery near my home. So I always admire his work until one day I decided, let me try and buy a camera. So I started, bought a camera at that time. I bought the first Canon digital camera, but then I was not happy because at that time the camera was not mature yet. Digital camera was not mature yet. So I switched to film, and I enjoy using the film because that's also teach me patience and technical skill. I cannot afford just pressing button because basically one press is $1. So I cannot just like take 100 or shot and then just pick one. So that's also taught me like wait, think, before pressing the button.
Wow. And I've always been a huge fan of your work because you always seem to capture these very magical moments. And how do you get to that? You know, how do you capture them?
So that's back to the history of my photography. So first I took landscape picture. So I started my photography with landscape picture, and then I started building my interest in portrait and wedding. Now that's where I learned about storytelling. I mean, with especially with wedding, when you take picture, you don't just take a picture of a couple, but I mean, we take picture of what the couple doing and what to preserve the memory, nice memory, this kind of thing. Then I bring that idea to my wildlife fine art and my nature fine art. I want to create something from my imagination that tells a story, and a lot of things. So it's a result of like a waiting, and I mean I have a lot of pictures, but a lot of them are sitting in the hard drive because it's just a picture, no storytelling. So I have to carefully choose and then make it like something that I like, and then that's how I do. I'm mumbling, right?
No, you're absolutely fine. But what so is how important is it to you to tell a story with your work?
I'm someone who loves Pixar, Disney, and then also Cirque du Soleil. So a lot of things. I mean, they make something like a very beautifully by exaggerating things and become at one storytelling. So a lot of time when I see something like that, some scene stuck in my mind, and that's become like a library in my mind. And often when I close my eyes or sleep, it's keep coming like it's haunting me. And why don't I just create something that basically similar idea? And that's how it keep pushing me to make something until I managed to make it. So yes, it's very important for me to make something like that because that's my goal. Why I'm taking this picture.
Yeah, I love that, and honestly, I share your love for the Disney and Pixar stuff. You know that.
Yeah, I know that.
And that's what I always found interesting about your work is it really does have that character. You know, not often can you look at a photo, just a still image, and get that whole story, you know, from it, and it's kind of I want to say it's whimsical.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so a lot of thing are inspired by those. I mean, for the lighting, for the colors. I mean, Cirque du Soleil has been like a very big inspiration for me. And then if you ever watch any of this Cirque du Soleil, then you know what I mean with all the beautiful lighting exaggeration, and that's become something like visually very pleasant, and that's what I try to do with my work.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I have actually I've seen them live over in Montreal. It is it's a hell of a show.
Yeah.
So Hendro, when you're doing this, so kind of walk us through your shots and then your editing afterwards, because you know, do you go into this knowing what you're trying to capture, or is this like you know, you go and take a bunch of shots you see one that you really like, and then you go in and edit afterwards, and then kind of the idea develops as you go, or is it just that I know what I'm doing right before I even go there?
Both. So, like I said, I have a very, I mean, like my brain is like a library that I can pull something at any time to that I want to make. So often when I go to see, when I take a picture, okay, I imagine this is what I want. But often that because this is wildlife, not something that I can easily post or tell what to do, then something I just change my intention, what I want to take, and adjust with what happens in front of me. But a lot of things, it takes me like months to capture one scene, because with animal you cannot control something. Sometimes I like the action. I don't like this how the wing is spread. I like this. I don't like that. So a lot of my work is like one choice among like thousands of capture that I have. Now that's just one step. After that, then the post production is the one that play a big role for me, because I like to use vivid color or exaggerate things to make it like visually attractive. And then yeah, that's basically like post production. It can take months for me to do that. How do I say? People do a lot of things with portrait. So if you see Vogue magazine, then the photographer take a pictures and do all the post production to make the model look nice in the magazine. So basically, I do the same thing, but instead of human, I do with animal. That is that
Yeah,
answer.
yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. And what inspires your color choices? Because that's one of the things that myself and even Nightmare was just commenting on, that your signature style, and your color choices are really unique and interesting. So what inspires you on those?
All my orange one that you see, for instance, like this, a lot of them are inspired heavily by the Broadway show Lion King. I don't know if you see, if you ever watched the show Lion King. At the beginning of the scene where the sun rises, and then they put like orange lighting at the background, it's just one silhouette with one simple form, either that's the rock or the animal. That for me is very impact. Give me very big impact. So that's the start of my inspiration for all my orange work.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that is a great scene, and it's got a good feeling to it. Especially the silhouettes and the oranges and the bright colors. It's like a sunrise, or a sunset, in some cases, and it's got a great feeling to it. And I could really tell that you took some time with the gradients in this particular piece, to try to really get an awesome feel to it. Like it just feels good.
Yeah, thank you. And also I grew up in Asia. So in Asia, shadow puppet is very popular. How to use just like a black and white. I mean, the black is the figure itself with the white background, simple background to tell a story. For me, that's I love it. It's simple, it's straightforward, tell the story, and that's what I'm also trying to achieve here.
Wow, I love that. And is wildlife photography only photo. I know you do some other stuff too, but what other photography are you into?
Everything. I mean, so far with my NFT, I know that I use a lot of wildlife pictures, but actually I do landscape, I do wedding, I do portrait, I do commercial, still life, and it with animal it doesn't have to be wildlife. I also do pets. So anything that for me meet my imagination, I will do it.
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
you just click the snails. That one actually using, yeah, I mean snail, it belongs to still it belongs to wildlife, but with that actually I use like 3 lighting setup using a strobe and softbox.
Wow. Yeah, I always love this shot. Did you actually take that piece of grass and bring it in?
No, that's actually not. So I not bring it in. I just take it outside.
You take it outside, and the water was there, and yeah, I mean, it's a brilliant shot. This is
Thank
a
you.
brilliant setup.
Thank you. So that's using like a 3 pro photos, and then one is the main light with the rim light, and then one is that's just a fill in. That's how I got the job.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, every single one of your shots, I've been slideshowing here, but you could tell a lot of love went into every single one, and really, just I love the choices that you make. I always have. I'm going to tell you that probably like another 12 times, but
Thank you.
absolutely. So tell us how you went from, okay, so you've been learning for you doing photography, learning photography, trying different things, taking different shots, weddings, animals, landscape. How did you learn about the NFT realm?
In at the end of last year, a friend of mine told me, asked me if I wanted to make some money from something that is new. I was interested, and then I was shown an image of another friend who was already in NFT. Then, but then at that time, I saw that a lot of the work that were there, like a digital art. So I think that maybe not for me, because photography was not well known in NFT. Until in January, I received an invitation. I mean, I did apply, but I didn't apply seriously. I received an invitation from Sloika to have to be on their platform. So yeah, in 1 week I prepare everything, and that's how I entered the world of NFT. Mid January 2022.
And so give us an idea of life before NFTs. What were you doing before you learned about NFTs for photography, and how is life after NFTs?
I'm not a photographer by profession, so I'm from commercial, so I'm not photographer by profession. I did photography as a hobby and as a passion, uh, and a lot of my images I did were for my competitions. Now, the one thing that nice about competition is, I mean, I'm not talking about the award or whatever, but about the learning process, because I feel that if I choose the right competition with the right opponents, and the right judges, then I will get feedback, and with that feedback I learn. So that's how I grow my. So basically, before NFT is me growing my skills to be a better artist. Then after NFT is to have my work sold. Basically, is that I've oversimplified this. Is that's how what I've been doing.
Yeah, that makes total sense, and it's amazing that this is just a hobby for you because you're so good at it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I never have a formal education in art at all. I have a bachelor degree in accounting and a master in business. So art is not something that I ever had in mind at all.
Wow. Well, I definitely think you have an eye for it, and yeah, I'm with you there. I don't have any formal training myself, but I sure love it. Wow, this is great, Hendro. So yeah, I mean, you have this business background, and we haven't explored that, but I know that you did something really unique. I would say some months ago, you actually got a bunch of artists together, photographers together, and you did a few drops. And maybe you could tell us a little bit about that, because I always thought that was a great story, and I really enjoyed that experience. And I hope you go forward with that even more, in the near future. But maybe you could tell us about what you put together, a few months ago with the different drops.
So one thing that I love about this NFT space is I make friends with a lot of amazing artists from all over the world. So we were in one DM group. So just casually, we mentioned, by we means Mustafa and I actually have an idea. How about if we create a collective? And then suddenly everybody jump in. And of course, at that time, we could not just have everybody in the DM group join the collective, because it doesn't make sense. That's too big. So whoever at the time decided to want to have a collective, then we make another DM group, and that's how it started. At that time, I was a Sloika. I was with Sloika on. So I didn't have any idea where to go. I happened to know several people in Sloika, so I brought the idea to Sloika. I said, "Hey, how about if I meet a collective in your platform?" And then Sloika told me that yeah, and then if I could involve a collector, that's even better. I had we all trust Alpha Trilogy. So, and I happen to know him, so I contacted him and asked him if he wanted to get involved. And Alpha, as usual, is always innovative and supportive. He even brought further than, how about if he also gave a buyback guarantee? So that's how everything started. We were the first collective, photography collective, curated by a collector with a buyback guarantee, and that's how it started. Apart from that, what I enjoy very much from that experience is the friendship among all of us, because we really built like a great connection that even still lasts until today.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love what you put together. I loved watching that whole thing unfold, because I thought it was very special in this space to do something like that. And I really like the mechanics that one of the the bigger collectors was able to say, look, if you want, I believe in this work so much that if you want me to buy it back, I'll buy it back. Basically, I mean, that what a great thing to do, and what a great thing to put together. I mean, Hendro, I mean, hats off to you. That was awesome.
Thank you. And then I mean, the success of that collective, honestly, I mean, that's everybody's involvement. I mean, I lead them, but still, like, we have someone who is good in graphic design, create a logo, who's good in video, create the video, and then Kathy, who is good in writing, help everybody to make sure that the description, everything is word and composed nice. So everybody has contribution there.
Yeah,
and that's what I appreciate very much.
Absolutely. We do have a special guest who has come to us randomly and wants to ask you a question. So I'm going to bring him up.
Sure.
This is Rune, who I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with. Rune, yeah, you had a question for Hendro, so go ahead.
Hendro,
how are you?
How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. I need to ask you a question that
Sure.
requires the best answer in the world, and that is, if you did not study, if this is just your hobby, what type of tips can you give people? Because my goodness, man, you are very talented, and and I will say for everyone out there, please follow Hendro. He is one of the most likable and humble photographers out there, and always willing to help. But I need to know, how are you doing this, man? Because is it just trial and error? Is it? I mean, it's amazing, dude.
Thank you. Competition is the key of everything.
Nice.
So I said before that I carefully choose my competition. I choose competition that is once entered by a lot of very reputable photographers. Second is I want competition that is also judged by the most reputable photographers. And third one, I want them to give me feedback. So if you choose the right competition, they will give you feedback. And then from all the feedback, I'm trained to see flaws. So not just flaws on other people's work, but also on my own work. So now it's basically become like every time after creating something, I see flaws. I fix it, I see another flaw. I fix it, I see another flaw. That's how my learning process is. So competitions with the right judges, with the right opponents, and feedback will speed up the learning.
See, I like that because a lot of people would shy away from the competition side of things because they'll have the imposter syndrome, aka I'm talking about myself right now. So and as you know, and I've brought up a lot of times, it's one of the banes, it's my Achilles heel is imposter syndrome. But I love the fact that you actually answered it that way, because it helps those that are thinking to themselves, I can't be the best, or I'm not like these people. Yeah, you just learn from it, and you also kind of like you said, you find out and you gain insight from others in the space, what could be different and what could not be different, and you tweak it from there. I mean, you guys have helped me out a ton of times, just based on that. But I love that answer, and I just wanted to jump on and say, hey man, and congrats again.
Thank you. For me, as simple as this. I mean, you go to the college, you study art, you still need to pay money, and you go to competition, you also pay money, but now you pay money to the best professors.
True.
Out there. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you win or you lose. what you want is the feedback.
Well, you're a
It's just-
winner in my book. So on that note, I'm going to
Thank
leave.
you.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, that makes total sense, Hendro. It's the feedback that's really the most important, that takes you to that next level. And with the feedback, I noticed that you're following a lot of really good rules in your photography. So you have a lot of shots that are kind of not in the right in the center, right? So they're off center. And there's different artistic rules. So are you studying this on your own? Are you looking at?
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome.
Thank you. So yeah, I mean, a lot of things I also learned not just from photography. So I learned from painting, and then I learned that people in photography always think about the third rule of third. Okay, but there are a lot of things, like for instance, how I mean the diagonal, the line, the golden spiral and everything. I mean, it doesn't have to be one rule. And then also, once you know the rule, now you know how to break the rule. So that's also another advantage of learning the rule.
And now, do you go off script sometimes and try to break it just for fun?
I do. I have something that I try to. I mean, I have images that I just put everything in dead center. I mean, for me, is I know the rule. I break it intentionally, and let's see if it how it goes. That's basically how I do it.
Yeah, I love that. Obviously, I'm a big fan of doing things a little bit abstract. And yeah, I mean, again, I mean, we can't say enough about your work. It's awesome.
Thank you.
But okay, I got some questions for you, selfishly.
Mm-hmm.
So you came in swinging, and again, I really love what you did with Artists United and other things, and you did the banner project, and you've done some other stuff. It's great to see that you have these ideas and then you follow through, and they do great. What do you think going forward? So you've been in the space how long now? How long have you been in the NFT space?
In January, it will be 12 months.
12 months. Okay, so you're about a year in. What do you think that the NFT space right now is missing?
A lot of people think that NFT is easy money, so that makes the market is very saturated. And when I said the market is saturated, it's like it's about supply and demand. I mean, we have a handful of collectors, but then now a lot of people suddenly want to be an artist. Some of them, I mean, a lot of them, not some of them, are serious. A lot of them just give a try. So what I feel that's missing here is like the confusion of who is serious, who is not serious. That's how I feel. I don't know whether, I mean, this is a very unpopular opinion for me. Yeah, but yeah, I could be wrong.
So and I'm asking you this because I found out just a few minutes ago that you had this great background in business, and then it kind of clicked for me, all the stuff that you've done since I've known you, these projects and how your photography is. It's very good. How you show everybody yourself, I mean, how you work with people. It's all amazing. And so I really respect your opinion when you look at the industry and you say, okay, what's missing here? would you say that is it the artist's foot forward that like is this the like who's serious, who's not, or is it the collectors that are serious or not?
I think that's work of both sides. I mean when someone just came in and straight away wants to be a popular artist, that's very different from someone who built years their expertise to be an artist. So now those line becomes blur because it's very saturated market. In one side, everyone wants to be an artist. In another side, is it's only handful collector with their inner circle. So at the end, it's about the marketing, how to make the serious one who will stay is noticeable by the collector, by who also wants to stay.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100% there. I think that we're still young in this area, and I think there's a lot of factors happening here. And you've seen the different cycles. You've seen I guess we could call it the boom cycle, and then you've seen the low energy as well. So I think we're still early in, and I think that a lot of the crypto market in general has a lot to do with it, the energy that we feel, and it's I don't think that the people who collect art are really here yet. There's some of them, right? But they're not really here just yet.
But one thing that I understand, I agree. Although that's also sometimes give me a FOMO feeling that every business, doesn't matter what industry is, it takes time to grow. We cannot just expect like we show up one day every day for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and then suddenly we run a successful business. Look at Apple. How long does it take for them to be today? Steve Jobs has had his own ups and downs too. So what I'm trying to say here is, yes, I also feel the same way. But at the end, a business needs time to grow, needs time for us to nurture. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and that is really good advice. And I'm sorry I brought a tough question, but I do think you're 100% right there. I think that we need time to grow, and I want to say that we're still, even though it feels like we're not early in this, we're still really early in this. And I go back to what Wellshark has said many times, that NFTs as an asset class is kind of but photography as an asset class is something that will go forward. Art as an asset class will go forward. And NFTs are still kind of like a really a growing child that may just blossom into one of those things.
I understand. I understand that we show up every day. Including myself. But then, it doesn't mean that by showing up every day, then the business become like a very popular, very high demand in 1 month, 2 months. No, it takes more than that to do that, to be able to do that.
Absolutely. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of training of your mind, because you're feeling a lot of things that you're not necessarily used to feeling, right? You're feeling your market cycles, which
Correct.
It's really tough. It's tough to actually understand those things and then kind of emotionally detach.
Correct. That's also because often when we try to market ourselves, we wear our artist coat instead of our our business code. I mean, I often told myself when I started getting confused that stop being an artist, being a marketer.
Yeah, that's that. Okay, that's great advice, and that leads me to a good question for you. Is, you've been in this a year now, and most people are still pretty new. I'd say to get a really good, like, to get, I guess it took me, I'm just going to say myself, my own personal journey, but it took me probably 2 years to feel numb. And show up every day without emotion, just enjoying. I guess the enjoyment is still there, but I'm not like emotionally engaged. Whatever happens, and I'm okay. That's what I'm trying to say. But what advice would you give somebody who is just starting out, and being that the time that we're in right now? What would you tell them, from your experience over a year? What would you tell them, like, just advice?
Build friendship, build network, because I mean the best way in especially in the saturated market is to have your work. I mean, to have you known from mouth to mouth. I mean, instead of rushing and then start sealing everybody, friends and so on. I mean, it won't work, and that's even like a backfire. If everything someone try to communicate is about sealing. I mean, build a genuine friendship and genuine network. Then your friends will help you.
Yeah, that is great advice. It's true. It's there's something that's said about building friendships over trying to get someone to buy stuff, right? And I don't care what industry you're in. It's the same everywhere. If you want to form an emotional attachment to whatever, I mean, you're buying, or who you're supporting, I mean, you got to build that relationship first. And if you don't have it built, it's really hard to go the other route. And then it becomes like, just buy my stuff. That's why I care about you, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, having that emotional attachment is definitely the way to go, and building the relationships. And that's the hard part, right? It's hard to do that. It's easy just to send a DM and say, look at my stuff.
And then that also apply to collectors. I mean, I have collectors. I have a lot. I have a collectors friend too. I mean, collectors are also human. So please, I mean, treat them as humans instead of ATM machine. That's. I mean, they will appreciate that.
Wow, I love that. I love that. So okay, question for future. What are you thinking about in the months ahead? I know things will change. I mean, they always do. What are your future plans?
I have a couple of works. I mean, I already prepared. My goal is always, I mean, not always successful, but that's always, at least I'm trying, is to beat my own work in the past. So I've been preparing a couple of works that hopefully I can defeat my own work, that whatever is already there in the market. That's what I'm trying to do. And meanwhile, keep hoping that when the market's ready, then everything is ready.
Yeah, and that day will come. I mean, the market will be ready eventually. And there's trickles up. There's always trickles, right?
Yeah.
But when it hits, it hits. And preparing is really right now. And I keep telling a lot of folks this. Right now is when you prepare for that. And when it comes, it's already too late.
Exactly.
So you got to prepare now, and you won't know, right? Because I mean, with anything, and sorry, I'm going to go on a tangent here. It's the same with the housing market, right? I mean, it gets hot. People are used to seeing, housing prices go up a lot, and then when the interest rates change, and then everyone's like, wait, I can't get a loan anymore. The sellers start saying, well, I'm not reducing my prices when things were just selling a couple months ago for, this price. So it always takes a little bit of time for that to level out. And I think that's true with anything.
Yeah.
And by the time that levels out, you're kind of already too late.
Correct. And I believe a lot of us who take picture of landscape, nature also understand. I mean, if you want to take a picture of sunset or sunrise, for instance, and then you are not prepared and you see, oh, there's a sunrise, beautiful sky, beautiful everything, and you are not you are not prepared just to click the button. You still have to set up everything, then you will never get it.
Yeah.
So same idea.
Yeah, it's almost like you could take the lessons you learned from taking wildlife photography and apply them to the markets.
Correct.
I love that. So Hendro, we do have a POAP, and I know that there's some people that are just sitting here waiting for this POAP to happen. So let me do that real quick. The POAP. So people, it's been a while since I've actually. Okay, so open up your POAP app, my favorite, and then go to the Mint button. Click on the secret word, and basically, all you have to do is type in imagination. That's it. And then you will get this amazing POAP. I was going to do donuts. It was late last night when I set this up, and my own imagination wasn't that great, to be quite honest. But yeah, imagination is the key word. Definitely go grab that POAP, everybody. There is a total of 50 of them. It is absolutely wonderful. We've seen the picture on the screen a few times, and I know everyone's going to love it. But yeah, this has been great. So imagination again, and yeah, I mean, Hendro, you got a bunch of people here supporting you. Maybe we can ask a fun question. When did you start loving donuts?
I love everything sugary. So when I was, before, every day at least I ate a couple of, one bar of chocolate, and then a couple of frappuccino, and then plus this, plus donut, plus dessert. Until one day my doctor said, "What did you do?" And that's how I knew that I need to reduce. So to answer your question, when I love donuts, still since I was a high schooler.
Wow.
And Mustafa just said that I was born to love it.
When did you discover them? So was it in high school, or was it before that when you were a kid?
It's in high school.
Oh
Actually,
wow.
The first, I didn't take. I didn't live here, so at that time, when I was in high school, Dunkin' Donuts, I think at that time, opened a franchise where I live. So I tried, I love it, and then that's how everything started.
Wow.
And then there is a Krispy Kreme, and then of course, you know well that there's a donut man here.
Oh yeah. boy, do I know. And what is your, so if you, this is a rapid fire question. Dunkin' Donuts or Krispy Kreme? What do you like better?
Krispy Kreme.
Oh yeah. Okay, that was an easy one. Would you have a Krispy Kreme over like a really good donut shop, like a mom and pop?
If you are saying Donut Man, I prefer Donut Man.
Donut Man, okay. Is there anything from when you lived in Asia that is close to a donut?
Not really. Not yes, but not sweet.
I see. Would you say the donut is your favorite sweet?
Chocolate is my favorite sweet, actually. Chocolate bar is my favorite sweet.
Is a chocolate donut.
I always, I other than strawberry donut, I always eat chocolate donuts.
I see. What about maple bars?
I eat maple, but not as much as I eat chocolate. I eat everything with chocolate.
Everything with chocolate. And
everything with chocolate. Cake, donut, ice cream, everything chocolate.
Have you ever dipped the donuts in milk?
No, is it nice?
It's very good, yeah.
Okay, I'll try.
You have to try it. It turns your milk into chocolate milk, just so you know.
I'll try.
Oh man. Yeah, so sorry, I just had to, because we've been talking about donuts for so long. So aside from sweets, what is your favorite like savory food?
I like except for donuts, I like fried chicken.
Fried chicken. That's interesting.
I love fried chicken.
Wow. And is there like a favorite place that you like to get it?
Yeah, I don't know whether. I mean, here I try a lot of change fried chicken, Popeyes, KFC, those kind of thing. But surprisingly, Starter Brothers, I don't think Starter Brothers is everywhere. I think it's only in California. I think they have the best fried chicken.
Wow. And do you have it with sauce? Any type of sauce?
I like honey mustard.
Okay. Yep, me too.
And by the way, for someone who doesn't live in US like Mustafa, I keep saying that try Cajun fries.
Oh yes, Cajun fries are fantastic. Yeah, and I've been having a battle with restaurants lately because hand cut fries are popular. They're the little tiny ones, but what they do is they kind of like crisp them too much, and you don't really taste the fry. You just taste burnt something, And I miss steak fries. I don't know, like no one has steak fries anymore. It's crazy.
Well, you should move here. We still have here.
Yeah, I know. When I went back for a brief week, I did find a place with steak fries, so I was pretty happy. Oh wow! But we could have a whole show on food.
Everybody will love that. Everybody love to talk about food.
Absolutely. Maybe that's what we'll do coming into the new year. We'll just have a show dedicated to food and what we like and everything. And it's always fun hearing people from all kinds of different countries and all over the world and what they eat, what they like. It's amazing. I love it.
That's another thing. When we were in Artists United, I mean, our DM group talks more about food than photography.
That's the sign of, and I go back to, I say this a lot, but that's the sign of the secret sauce, right? That's what I love about the space, is really getting to know people and having a good time together, and then doing art, then doing NFTs, then doing
exactly. I mean, start with something that I mean, everybody enjoy, everybody love, then everything will flow. Automatically.
Absolutely. Wow, Hendro, this has been fantastic.
There's one thing that I forgot to mention when you asked about photography. So one thing that I always told someone I mentor is, I mean, unless we give our our work a soul, then that's just another snapshot.
Wow, that is really, really good advice.
So you can take a very beautiful landscape picture, portrait picture, anything, but if there is no soul in the picture, it's just a perfect snapshot. It's not photography.
Yeah, I believe that 100%. I think, I think that is some of the best advice you can give somebody that really wants to get into photography. It has to carry a little bit of soul, and also a little bit of your soul, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you.
I'm going to take that advice myself.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, Hendro, again, this has been great. Folks, if you didn't get that POAP, please go get it. The keyword is imagination if you're just tuning in. And follow Hendro on Twitter. You've been seeing his website here. I've been showing snapshots, but he's on Sloika, Foundation, OpenSea, Maker's Place, everywhere that you'd want to see some work. And I mean, I expect some amazing things. You've already done a lot of amazing things, but I know you have like you said, a library of photos that may be coming, and you have some work coming soon in the new year. And I can't wait to see what you come up with next.
Thank you for doing this for me.
Oh man, I've been wanting to do this for so long. So
thank you.
And we had Rune jump in and ask a question, so it was great. Is there anything that you want to leave everybody before we go?
No, I think that's the sole thing. Is something that I want to mention to everybody, especially someone who start learning photography. Because another thing is also create your own style instead of copying someone, because copying someone will not. You either be original. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, don't be a copycat.
Yeah.
And that's something that guarantee that being a copycat, being an original is more being guaranteed that someone will notice your work. That's how I always feel.
Yeah, that's 100%. It's 100% with that. You gotta give yourself, right? Don't give someone else. I mean, it's cool to like different styles. And I mean, everyone knows I like a lot of stuff. But that's you, right? I mean, like the styles, but do you at the end of the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the key. So I love it. Thank you, Hendro.
Thank you, TJ.
All right, we're going to talk soon. And everybody, thanks for tuning in. And we will do this again next time. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.